The world should be vegan by now. I really think the issue is that most people don't really know how animal products are being produced and the amount of devastation it's causing. Um, and that's the reason why people are still consuming animal products, because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. Because that's the only reason why I was consuming animal products, because I did not know any better. I grew up consuming animal products. I didn't know any better. I was not taught better. It wasn't until I started seeing slaughterhouse footage that I started to reconsider what I was doing. I'm like, I don't want to, hurt animals. But obviously, these animals are, in fact, being hurt to produce animal products, to produce meat. But at the time, back in 2008, when I stopped eating beef and pork and chicken and turkey, I continued to consume dairy products. I continued to consume eggs for another 7 years. Because I honestly didn't think that you had to hurt a chicken to get eggs. I honestly didn't think you had to hurt a cow to get dairy products, but I was wrong. And like I said, it took me another 7 years. It wasn't until 2015, when I was 42 years old, that I learned the truth about the egg industry, and I learned the truth about the dairy industry and went vegan. Why did it take me 42 years? Why did it take me 42 years to learn that in the egg industry, they grind up male chicks alive? Because at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, even the organic free-range egg-laying hens, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males like they did here, and they put them into a macerator, which grinds them up alive. And those egg-laying hens themselves are sent to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable. That typically happens at about 1.5 years of age, when those birds can actually live over 7 years. In nature, a hen would only lay about 12 to 24 eggs per year. But in the egg industry, those birds are forced to produce 200 to 300 eggs per year. So that puts an enormous amount of stress on their bodies. So by the time they're just 1.5 years of age, their bodies can no longer keep up with that kind of egg production. So they can no longer make a profit for the farmer. So the farmer will send them off to slaughter and replace them with younger, more productive hens. And in the dairy industry, this is something else that took me 42 years to learn. I thought that dairy cows automatically produce milk, just like most people. Oh, they're dairy cows. That's just what they do. They make milk. No, they produce milk because they're mothers. They're forcibly impregnated. As soon as they give birth, their babies are stolen. And this is how most of those calves are kept after they're stolen from their mothers. This is a baby. This baby should be with their mother. But this is how they're kept, in a tiny pen out in the elements. So yeah, if they're up north in the wintertime and there's a blizzard, they're out there in a blizzard. If they're down here in the south, like in Florida, a couple months ago, Hurricane Ian came through. And on one dairy farm alone, over 250 dairy cows were killed. And there was a lot more than one dairy farm in the path of Hurricane Ian. So yeah, these farmers, they're raising so many animals, they can't give them proper care. Even if they wanted to, they cannot properly care for these animals, because they're literally raising, most of these farmers are raising thousands of animals. So yeah, it's impossible to take care of thousands of animals. It's impossible to, you know, hurry up when a hurricane comes through, especially a hurricane that was supposed to go a lot further north and at the last minute made landfall a lot sooner and a lot further south than it was supposed to. You know, yeah, it's hard for those farmers who literally have thousands of animals to just, you know, round them all up and ship them somewhere safe. Doesn't happen. So that's why, you know, like last week, for instance, in California, this was a scene at a dairy farm. Yeah, these are little babies kept in pens because this is like standard to take these little babies off their mothers as soon as they're born and keep them in tiny little pens like this outside. Most of them are kept outside. Yeah, so if there's torrential rains, they're out there in those torrential rains in 2 feet of flood water. And this is just so you can consume their baby food. These are babies. They should be with their mother. But because you, a human, who's an adult, you know, you don't realize you're a human. You think you're like a cow and you think you're still a baby. You know, you're consuming the baby food that was intended to nourish a baby cow, because you don't realize you're like a human and you're an adult and you were supposed to have been weaned decades ago. But you want to come here and defend this. You want to defend this. That's what you're doing with your anti-vegan comments. You're literally defending the stealing of babies off of their mothers so you can have their baby food. But look at this. Look at this. This is something that happened today. This is a video, my last video. Check it out. My last video about the dairy industry that I posted. Look who liked it. Moby. That's actual Moby. The musician, Moby. Yeah, he saw my video that I posted and he liked it. So yeah, check it out. The last video that I posted about the dairy industry, about these calves, how they're kept out in the elements, like in blizzards and in hurricanes. That doesn't matter. I still had somebody famous view my TikTok and like it. So there you go. Oh, and it reminds me of when Esai Morales visited my Facebook page. Yeah, Esai Morales. I made a comment on one of his Facebook posts. And then he had to like come on my Facebook page and check it out. And he went on to say like how, well, in essence, I made him feel guilty for eating meat. Yeah, Esai Morales. Famous actor. Maybe not as famous as like Tom Cruise, but should have been. So yeah, check out that video. Check out all of my videos. And if you want to help animals, share those videos, duet those videos. And even if you like are against what I'm doing, why don't you stitch my video? Like any of my videos, just stitch it and explain to me why I'm wrong. Why am I wrong for defending animals? Why am I wrong for coming on to this app and just stating facts about how animal products are being produced and how it's destroying the environment and how it's not even healthy? Like, you know, people are dropping dead by the thousands each day from heart attacks, strokes, cancer. It's not vegans dropping dead by the thousands each day. It's not vegans filling up those hospital beds. It's not vegans causing pandemics. And if you're Christian, just turn to the very first page of the Bible. Genesis 1:29. On the very first page of the Bible. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Thou shalt not kill means be vegan. Thou shalt not steal means be vegan. Romans 14:21, it is good not to eat meat. Isaiah 11:6-9, the wolf will lay with the lamb and there will be no more harm. But that's all you do all day is harm animals over a to go vegan. And it's not just the cows and the pigs and the chickens and the fish who are being intentionally harmed for your food preferences. It's also wild animals. Wild animals are literally being annihilated over livestock. For instance, here in the United States, every year, the government, see this image at the bottom left? Wild American horses are rounded up by the thousands every year. The U.S. government does this on behalf of the animal agriculture industry. They use our tax dollars for this atrocity. They round up thousands upon thousands of wild American horses and remove these horses from these public lands so that cattle can graze these lands instead, so that cattle ranchers can maximize their profits. So yeah, you're not just killing the cows and the pigs and the chickens and the fish. You're also killing the wild animals like the wild American horses, the prairie dogs, because those animals compete with livestock for grazing land. And animals like wolves, cougars, bears, bobcats, coyotes, foxes, lynxes, those animals are also being intentionally killed by the millions each year because they are a threat to livestock. And if you're a pescatarian, you're doing your job, at helping destroy the oceans. 50% of the plastics in the oceans come from ghost fishing gear from the commercial fishing industry. And those fishing nets, when they drop those nets into the ocean to catch the fish that you seafood consumers purchase, those nets do not discriminate. They just pick up anything in the way. So yeah, they'll pick up turtles and whales and dolphins. Yeah, so hundreds of millions of non-target marine animals are being killed in the process of depleting the oceans of seafood, for seafood. No, they don't get let go. Most of them end up dying. We're talking like hundreds of millions of them per year. And this person, everything that moveth shall be food for you. So I guess we should be eating koala bears then, and like tarantulas and zebras, and even each other, right? Because, humans move too. No, it's just weird that you don't want to focus on any of the passages in the Bible that are encouraging peace and nonviolence. You want to use the Bible to justify violence. That's bizarre. See, God should be in your heart. God should be in your heart. You shouldn't need a book, a man-made book. And then it's just weird too, like the only things in the Bible that like resonate with you are the things that you twist to like say, hey, look, it's okay. It's okay for us to be violent towards animals. Because it says so right here in the Bible. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Okay, so yeah, animals aren't things, in case you don't know. Animals are not things. And humans are animals too, so I think you're reading that wrong. But if you want to read it to mean like non-human animals, so I guess, we should be eating panda bears and koala bears and tarantulas and polar bears and dolphins and manatees. Yeah, well, how many animals have you killed? How many animals have you killed? See, if you think it's all right to consume animal products, you should have to work in a slaughterhouse killing those animals yourself. If you think it's all right to consume dairy products, you should have to work in the slaughterhouse killing the male calves. If you think it's okay to consume eggs, you should have to work at the hatcheries, being the one to sort all of these little male chicks and dump them into a macerator, which grinds them up alive if you think it's okay. I mean, I did not go vegan because I did not like eating bacon and cheese and eggs and filet mignon and seafood. I did not go vegan because I didn't like eating animal products. I went vegan because I saw how those products were being produced. And I could clearly see that animals are being treated very unjustly, very unjustly. And people are like, oh, but they're humanely slaughtered. It's just one bad day at a slaughterhouse. No, it's not just one bad day at a slaughterhouse. Their whole life is pure hell. I mean, look at these piglets right here. Notice how they don't have any tails. That's because their tails are cut off. The workers just go right in and just cut the tails right off. They clip their teeth, clip their ears, castrate the males, all of this with no pain relievers. Then they're forced to live in an overcrowded, shit-filled shed for like 6 months in such filth. They have to be given antibiotics to keep them alive long enough to make it to the slaughterhouse. They live in like a real-life Saw movie. So yeah, it's not just one bad day at a slaughterhouse. It's their whole brief existence. And if you think anything humane is happening inside of a slaughterhouse, why don't you, when your dog is old or your cat is old and, they're not doing too well and they're suffering and you're like, well, I think it's time to let them go. Yeah, I think we should have them humanely euthanized. Take them to your local slaughterhouse, and have them euthanized. If you think it's so humane what they're doing to those animals inside the slaughterhouse. Take your dog, take your cat to the slaughterhouse to have them humanely euthanized. If that's what you think is happening inside those slaughterhouses. Oh, no, don't worry. It's quick. It's painless. Don't worry. It's all humane. Yeah, take your sick cat, take your sick dog when it's time to let them go. Take them to the slaughterhouse. If you think it's okay, if you see nothing wrong with what's being done to those animals. Because those animals are all baby animals. Those pigs are just 6 months old when they're slaughtered. They can live over 10 years. The chickens are just 6 weeks old when they are slaughtered. They can live over 7 years. Even cattle raised for beef, thanks for the roses, even cattle raised for beef are only like 12 to 22 months old when they're slaughtered. They can live over 20 years. So these are all very, very young animals that are being forced into these slaughterhouses. And they are literally stabbed in their throat. They have to be stabbed in their throat or have their throat slit in order to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they're butchered. And, even if you're like, oh, but they take a bolt gun to their head first. They knock them out first before they stab them in their throat or before they slash their throat. They take a bolt gun. So it's okay. It's okay because they, smash them in the head first with a bolt gun. Well, if Brian Kohberger, who stabbed those 4 college students to death, if he would have, taken a bolt gun to their head first, would that have made that a humane killing? I don't think you would think that would be humane. It would still be a violent act. either way. And I'm sure you don't think he should receive a lighter prison sentence if he had taken a bolt gun to their head first. You would still see it as pretty much the same vicious, violent, evil crime, deserving of, like, I think he should be, he should get the death penalty. He should absolutely get the death penalty. Anybody who can do something that evil to somebody. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what those students went through. He literally did to those students what slaughterhouse workers do to animals. It's just mind-blowing. And everybody understands what Bryan Kohberger did was a very, very, very heinous crime. Very, very heinous act of violence. But then, like, you instantly turn around after you hear this news story of this monster killing 4 innocent people. And then you go and you pay somebody to do the same thing to an animal. And then you do this like every few hours of every day for every single non-vegan product you consume. You are in fact paying someone to stab an animal in their throat. Because yeah, they have to be stabbed in their throat to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they are butchered, or have their throat slit to sever their jugular vein to bleed them out before they are butchered. And even in the dairy industry, those animals are being stabbed in their throat for you to have dairy products. Because those dairy cows have to be pregnant before they will start to lactate. If they're not impregnated, they're not going to lactate. They are forcibly impregnated to get them to start lactating. And then roughly every year, they're forcibly re-impregnated to keep them lactating. And as soon as they give birth, their babies are stolen from them. On some dairy farms, they will kill the male calves right away because they have no use for the male calves. But typically what happens with the male calves is they are sent off to the veal industry, raised for a few weeks, and then killed. But even if they are sold off, sold to the beef industry, beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 to 22 months of age. They can live over 20 years. So they're still slaughtered very, very young. And even for your eggs, at those hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, even the organic free-range egg-laying hens, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males like they did here. This is a male chick, and he's literally being dumped into a macerator. These are blades right here, blades that are spinning. And this is the second before he's dropped into this macerator and ground up alive, because he is useless to the egg industry, because he's a boy and he won't lay eggs. And this breed of bird is not the same breed used for meat. This breed of bird does not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. And what about bees? Bees, honey, that's animal cruelty too. It's thievery for one thing. It takes a bee their entire life to make just 1 teaspoon of honey. What right do humans have to steal that from them? And when they go into those hives and they steal the honey from the hives, some of those bees die in the process. And the queen bee has her wings cut off, and she is forcibly impregnated. I know it sounds crazy, because it is crazy. They literally masturbate a male bee. They literally squeeze his abdomen, and that sexually stimulates him and forces him to have an orgasm. Yeah, a bee. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. Just look it up, though. If you think I'm talking crazy, it's because it is crazy. But just look up artificial insemination of bees. You'll see how they collect the semen from the male bees. They literally squeeze on their abdomen, and that causes them to ejaculate. Then they steal that semen from those bees. They literally restrain the queen bee, and they force the semen into her to force her to reproduce. And those bee farmers will typically kill the queen in a year, and then replace her with a younger, more productive queen. And of course, you know, you get these people that, you know, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They can't think straight. And they're like, oh, vegans kill more animals in crop production. I mean, look at all the crops, you know, the crops, those animals dying in crop production. You know, oh my God, they're sprayed with pesticides and they kill the rabbits and all of that to protect the crops. Do you know that more crops have to be produced to feed livestock than need to be produced to feed humans directly? Yeah, it takes up to 8 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of pork. It takes up to 6 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of poultry. It takes as much as 16 pounds of grains to get just 1 pound of beef. So roughly like 10 times more crops have to be produced to feed livestock than need to be produced to feed humans directly. Yeah, but see, there is such a thing as veganic farming, vertical farming, greenhouses, growing your own food, and certainly non-lethal methods of pest control. So no, you do not have to kill animals for crop production. You do not. You do not have to kill animals. But you do have to kill animals to eat their flesh. And yeah, the dairy farms are not doubling in size each year. That would be impossible. And they're not even doubling in size every other year. That wouldn't be sustainable. That would be impossible. So yeah, something is happening to these calves. They're intentionally killed. They're intentionally killed too. And then because they cannot determine the sex of the chicks at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, the male chicks are all intentionally killed. All intentionally killed. They have to be killed because the egg industry has no use for the males. And they do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. The dairy industry has no use for the male calves, so they have to be killed. These animals have to be killed. And then they are literally intentionally killing wild animals like wild American horses, beavers, prairie dogs, cougars, foxes, coyotes, wolves, bears, because those animals are a threat to livestock or compete with livestock for grazing land. So they are intentionally killed. They have to kill. The animal agriculture industry has to get rid of these animals to maximize their profits, to maximize, because this is what this is all about. And here we're in a time where, you know, millionaires are becoming billionaires and billionaires are becoming trillionaires. It's like all of this greed. And the animals are paying the ultimate price. The animals are the ones paying the ultimate price for all this greed. The animals, you know, that you eat and whose secretions you consume, the wild animals, and even animals like the dogs and the cats, you know, they're also being exterminated by the thousands each day simply because they're homeless. And the problem's getting worse and worse because, you know, the rich keep on robbing from the common folk. You know, cost of living is skyrocketing because, you know, the rich, you know, they can never make enough money. And now people can barely feed themselves. So, you know, now they obviously can't go to a shelter and adopt a cat or a dog because they can't even afford to feed themselves. So again, it's the animals paying the ultimate price because these animals are the ones literally given a death sentence. And the rich just keep on getting richer. But, you know, you need to go vegan. You need to go vegan, especially if you consider yourself an animal lover. You absolutely have to be vegan because, you know, if you're not vegan, you're not an animal lover at all. You're like the animal's worst enemy. Like even the wild animals literally being annihilated over your food preferences. Non-vegans are causing the sixth mass extinction. Non-vegans are causing the sixth mass extinction. Even researchers at Oxford University, after doing an extensive study of over 40,000 farms, concluded that animal agriculture is so environmentally destructive, going vegan is the best way to save the planet, and that if the world went vegan, land totaling the size of Africa could be freed up. Because that is how much land it takes to graze and grow food for all of these ceaseless billions of animals that are needed to keep up with the demand for animal flesh and animal secretions. Well, eat a vegan hot dog. There are vegan hot dogs, vegan bacon, vegan burgers, vegan cheese, vegan everything. And it's better for your health, and it's better for the health of the planet, and no animal has to be stabbed to death. And I'm not forcing my opinion on anyone. I'm not forcing my opinion on anyone. It's not my opinion. It's not my opinion that animals are being brutalized and massacred by the billions. It's a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact that dairy cows produce milk because they're mothers, not because they're dairy cows. That's a fact. It is a fact that those dairy cows, when they give birth, their babies are stolen from them. That is a fact. It is a fact that at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of the males they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort these males and they grind them up alive. That's a fact. It's a fact that they kill the male chicks. Now, at some facilities, they might, just throw them in the trash where they, suffocate or starve to death. But they kill the male chicks because they have no use for them, because they don't lay eggs, and this type of bird is not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. And let me just show you something. And today, I posted this video. This was the last video that I posted. You should watch it, share it, duet it, stitch it, and if you are somebody who thinks I'm in the wrong, why don't you stitch it and tell me and tag me in it? Why you think I'm wrong for advocating for these animals? Why do you think I'm lying? Why do you think I'm spreading misinformation? What exactly am I lying about? Explain that to me. Yeah, stitch this video and explain to me why you think I'm lying about the fact that dairy cows produce milk because they're mothers and not because they're dairy cows, and that their babies are stolen from them and all the males are killed. Yeah, well, see this right here? Yeah, see who liked my video, my TikTok that I posted today? This TikTok, see? Yeah, that is Moby. That is the Moby. Yeah, liked my TikTok. Yeah. Kind of reminds me when Esai Morales visited my Facebook page and, told me basically that I made him feel guilty for eating meat. Well, you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty because you're literally having an animal's life taken from them. Like, do you really think animals deserve a death sentence over your food preferences? That's not right. That's not fair. That is to death over your food preferences. That's not fair. It's not fair. So yeah, you should feel guilty. That's why I went vegan, because I saw what was happening to these animals to produce those products that I was consuming, and I clearly felt guilty. I mean, of course, if you're a normal person with a freaking heart, yeah, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel guilty. It's just normal when you're a normal person with a heart, to feel guilty when you see an animal suffering and being killed intentionally, and it's for just something so trivial as a meal that could easily just be substituted with something vegan, which is much healthier, much more environmentally sustainable. And if you don't feel guilty, Like, if you see animals suffering and, because a lot of people, oh, I don't feel guilty. And then they just like joke about this. They think this is funny. They mock the suffering they cause these animals. Well, yeah, unfortunately, there are psychopaths in the world. And I think the problem is, their brain did not develop properly. So they don't have that part of the brain that is, responsible for feeling empathy. They can't feel empathy because their brains haven't developed properly. But a normal person with a properly developed brain is going to feel guilty, because that's just what a normal person does when they see an innocent creature suffering and being intentionally killed for no good reason. We do not have to eat the flesh or secretions of animals to be healthy. Therefore, it is immoral and unjust to kill an animal just because you can. I mean, you're literally giving these animals a death sentence for your food preferences. That's what it comes down to. And their method of execution is literally inside of a slaughterhouse, having a knife shoved into their throat. Like, what Bryan Kohberger did to those 4 college students. You understand that was a heinous crime. But you do this. You pay people to do the same exact thing to animals, like every few hours of every day, and you think nothing of it. You think nothing of your victims, and then you want to call me crazy because I'm just trying to bring your victims to your attention so that maybe you'll reconsidering what you're doing and just choose something plant-based to eat instead. Choose the plant-based options and stop hurting animals. And here's something a lot of people don't know, but about this. Okay, this is a screenshot of an instructional video put out by the pork industry. They call this artificial insemination, the semen collection process. For them to artificially inseminate those female animals, they obviously have to have semen, right? So they have to collect it from a male animal. And this is standard practice throughout the entire animal agriculture industry. It's not just happening in the pork industry. It's also happening in the poultry industry, in the egg industry, in the dairy industry, in the honey industry. Yeah, even with bees. Just look it up if you think I'm talking crazy, because it is crazy what they're doing to these animals. But this is standard practice. And again, they call it artificial insemination. But obviously to be able to artificially inseminate a female animal to get her to reproduce, they have to have semen. So they collect that semen, and this is how they do it. See, this is a human. This is a human. This is an animal. Yeah. She literally has her hand on his penis, and she's masturbating him until he ejaculates. That is sexual activity. She's sexually stimulating him. A human and an animal. The human is literally sexually stimulating the animal until that animal ejaculates. That is bestiality, people. Bestiality. Yep, the first step in producing animal products. True story. True story. So don't get mad at me for telling you the truth. Don't get mad at me and deny that this is happening, because this is standard practice. This is step 1 in producing all of those animal products on store shelves. So you need to get educated. Look up artificial insemination of pigs, chickens, cows, bees, fish. Yeah, because when I first went vegan and I was hearing vegans talking about how animals are being RAPED'd, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Wait, what? You know, I understand the part of forcing these animals into a slaughterhouse. That is evil. That is fucked up, and I don't want any part of that. But I don't know what this RAPED stuff is. That sounds weird. Like, I don't know about that. But when you see, like, hello? Yeah. Okay, I understand now. Yes, it is. It is. This is definitely sexual abuse. Definitely. And it's bestiality. And they literally are doing this to collect his semen so that they can force it into that female pig to impregnate her, to make the little piglets that they fatten up for bacon. And if you were to force semen into a woman's vagina without her consent, yes, that would be a crime of rape. That would not be artificial insemination. And I'm sure you understand that. So no, this should not be considered artificial insemination. It is not. It should be a crime what they're doing to these animals. Because if the same exact things being done to these animals to produce animal products were being done to humans, they would in fact be crimes of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. And I'm not even exaggerating. And if you are a Christian, just look at what your Bible says about bestiality and what the punishment should be. Animals are not people. Okay? Okay. Animals are not people. Okay? So you're saying that it's okay for a human to masturbate an animal because, oh, it's not a human, so that's just crazy. Even if this pig could, because I get people so crazy. They're like, but an animal can't give consent. So yeah, perfectly fine to do this because the animal can't give consent. Even though there's like, you know, people who can't give consent, like people in a coma can't give consent. So according to these people's logic, who are like, oh, the animal can't give consent, so yeah, it's perfectly fine to fondle him. So I guess these people think it's okay to fondle people in comas, you know, because they can't give consent either. So I'm just like, get me the fuck out of this twilight zone that I'm stuck in. But even if this pig could give consent, it's still bestiality. It is still bestiality. And you still shouldn't be touching an animal's penis, okay? Yeah, but I think they do that too with like, you know, the people when you want, you know, you go to a fucking breeder, you know, breeder. Yeah, I think they're pretty much doing the same thing. I mean, maybe some of them let the dogs go at it themselves or whatever, but well, let's see. Let me show you this. They have this for a reason. Yeah. Suitable for dogs. Suitable for dogs. An electro-ejaculator. Shove these in the anuses of those male animals to force them to ejaculate to collect their semen to, you know, make rats for animal testing. You know, to make your purebred dog. Yeah, and cattle, see cattle there? Yeah, in the dairy industry, in the beef industry. Literally shoving these dildo things in the anuses of the bulls to get them to ejaculate. Or they'll just give them a hand job. To collect their semen, to force it into the cows, to impregnate them so you can eat their babies. And, you know, in the case of the dairy cows, you know, to get them to lactate, so that you can consume the baby food that belongs to those baby calves that are all killed if they're boys. No, animal testing needs to be abolished too. Animal agriculture, animal testing, all forms of animal exploitation need to come to an end. Other more efficient methods of testing that don't involve using animals. And it's weird because people, what they do is they cause these diseases themselves. They, like cancer. A lot of the cancers are literally caused from eating animal products. So you literally torture and kill animals so you can eat them, and you're literally giving yourself heart disease and cancer. And then you test on these animals to try to find the cures for these diseases that you give yourself from torturing and killing and eating animals. So then you torture and you kill millions more animals to try to treat the diseases you get from consuming animals. It's insanity. It's insanity. And then some of the cancers too are caused from chemicals, like the nasty fucking chemicals, like your cleaning products. Oh, they're so fucking clean. They're literally like giving you cancer. Yeah, a lot of these, just go to the Environmental Working Group's webpage. The Environmental Working Group's webpage. You can go to their database and put in any product. Febreze, for instance. Febreze. Just do a search for Febreze, and it'll let you know like all of the different toxic chemicals and that nasty shit. And it'll let you know how toxic each ingredient is and what kind of things it can cause, like cancer. Yeah. And Febreze, that is tested on animals. Yeah. And I find it interesting that those products that are like the toxic products are the products that are tested on animals. And those are like the products that give people cancer and other kind of health issues. But the ones that aren't toxic, that are not tested on animals, are like the safest products to be consuming. The ones that are not tested on animals are the ones that are typically not toxic. The toxic ones are the ones that are tested on animals. Like the Febreze and all the shit from Procter & Gamble. Yeah, obviously, come on. If a company's like literally torturing and killing animals in lab experiments, you really fucking think they care about humans? If they could so easily just torture an animal just to sell a fucking product to make millions of dollars, you think they give a fuck about you and your health? No, because it's all intertwined, because then the big pharma, makes money off of all of the cancer drugs and all the other fucking drugs. So they all want you to be sick. They want you to consume the toxic cleaning products. They want you to eat the meat, the dairy, the egg products, because those things will make you sick. And then big pharma at the top, making all that money off all you sick people. Making yourself sick, eating animals, and spraying toxic chemicals that you think are cleaning your house. And there's a reason why, like when, somebody's had, especially like after Christmas, you probably notice it. Like people with cologne and perfume on. And then you kind of start feeling nauseated. Like, that's because that shit's fucking toxic. It's fucking toxic. Yeah, your designer fragrances that you all go out and blow all kinds of money on for, Christmas presents, for your girlfriends and your boyfriends. That shit is toxic. And it's tested on animals. The stuff that's not tested on animals is like the stuff you should be buying because it's not fucking toxic. And just like I said, go to the Environmental Working Group's webpage. Just look up any product or any type of product, and you'll see a list. It's right there, the least toxic to the most toxic. And the vegan products that aren't tested on animals are typically the ones that aren't toxic or are the very least toxic. The toxic are the ones that are tested on animals and are not vegan. And that's really not surprising. Because when they don't give a fuck about the animals, like why would they give a fuck about you? They just want your money. Yeah. Yeah, figure it out. Figure it out. Figure it out. Febreze and that shit, all that Procter & Gamble shit is tested on animals, and it's all fucking toxic. It is. Yeah. Yeah, if you're a vegan, you're rich. Veganism isn't about anything but justice for animals. Doesn't have to matter what status you're at socially. Like, you could be rich and be vegan, but you could be poor and be vegan. You just have to know right from wrong. Right from wrong. That's what being vegan is about. Knowing right from wrong. If you understand it's wrong to abuse an animal, then you need to be vegan. It's that simple. And these animals aren't just being physically abused. They're also being psychologically abused. And they're being sexually abused. These animals do not give permission to have these things shoved in their anuses. Those female animals do not give permission to have semen shoved in their vaginas. And if the same things were happening to humans without their consent, that would be sexual assault. So you're literally funding the sexual assault of animals when you consume animal products. Oh, I just get upset when I see the time. I can't believe it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I wish it was only like 7 and I could just like be on here for like another 3 hours. No animals have to be killed for my vegan diet. No animals have to be killed. But animals do have to be killed for you to be able to eat their flesh. These male calves born on the dairy farms have to be killed because they're useless to the dairy industry. And it would be impossible for, the dairy farmers to keep these male calves around because, next thing you know, the fucking farm would be just doubling in size every year. That can't happen. The male chicks intentionally killed in the egg industry because they have no use for them. Wild animals intentionally killed by the millions each year. These animals all are intentionally killed. No animals have to be killed for my diet. No animals have to be killed. Now, maybe there are some animals being accidentally killed. I mean, I'm doing my best to minimize the harm that I cause. You're literally maximizing the harm you're causing. Literally having animals sexually assaulted, having them mutilated, having them forced to live in an overcrowded, shit-filled shed for months in such filth they have to be given antibiotics, and then they're forced screaming into a slaughterhouse. No animals being forced into a fucking slaughterhouse for my food preferences after being forced to live in a shit-filled dungeon for 6 months in such filth they have to be given antibiotics. No animals going through that hell over my food preferences. And even if a mouse accidentally gets caught up in harvesting equipment, okay? Well, for one thing, on average, 10 times more crops have to be produced to feed livestock than need to be produced to feed humans directly. So whatever animals might be killed in crop production, 10 times more animals are being killed in crop production to feed livestock, okay? But there is such a thing as veganic farming, non-lethal methods of pest control, vertical farming, greenhouses, and growing your own food. I live in Florida. I have a lot of fruit trees. I don't have to use anything. I don't even use non-lethal methods of pest control because I have no pest problems, okay? But if I did, I would use non-lethal methods of pest control. And to say that, oh, I dug a hole to plant a fruit tree and oops, I accidentally killed a worm in the process. So that justifies going out and sexually assaulting an animal, forcing her to reproduce, stealing her babies off of her, mutilating those babies, forcing those babies to, okay, you're just off your rocker. If I accidentally killed a worm when I was digging a hole to plant a plant, that's an accidental death. That's not intentional. Intentionally killing somebody, that's murder. If you accidentally kill a human, you're not going to be charged with murder. So the difference between accidentally killing someone and intentionally killing someone is murder. Okay? So for you to say, oh, well, you kill animals in crop production. Well, any animals that might be killed, those are accidental deaths. Those are accidental deaths. So your logic is like, okay, somebody accidentally hits a kid because the kid just runs right out in front of their car and they can't stop in time. So they hit the kid, they kill the kid on accident. So your logic is like, oh, fuck it, I just killed this kid on accident, so I might as well just plow my car through a busy playground and kill every fucking kid on that playground. That's your mentality. You're maximizing your harm by consuming animal products. You're maximizing your harm. You're killing all of these animals intentionally. Even wild animals are being intentionally killed over livestock. And 10 times more animals are being killed in crop production to boot. So, yeah, you have to go vegan. You have to go vegan. Because if you're not vegan, you're literally causing the sixth mass extinction. You're literally causing animals to suffer and die intentionally for your food preferences. I'm trying to, like I said, minimize the amount of harm I cause. I don't want to see any animals die. That's why I choose veganic products. Vegan, like One Degree. One Degree is a brand that sources all of their ingredients from veganic farmers. So I get my oats, I get my lentils, I get my cereal, I get my bread from One Degree. The local organic farm where I get a lot of my produce from, they use pepper spray as a non-lethal method of pest control. And animals like mice, they have ears and they have legs and they have a will to live. And when they, sense danger, they typically run out of the way. You know what I'm saying? But those animals that you eat, they are forced into those slaughterhouses. They are forced to die. They don't have the option to escape. And if you look at some of the TikToks I've posted, you'll see actual animals in slaughterhouses, terrified, trying to escape, but they can't. But those mice in those fields, they can very easily escape when they sense danger, when they hear the harvesting equipment come along. And they do typically run out of the way and save themselves. Nobody's forcing those animals to die. Oh, but they taste good. Oh, that slaughtered gore tastes good because of the herbs and spices you douse it with. Herbs and spices are vegan. Yeah, in case you don't know, herbs and spices are vegan. So that delicious taste comes from the herbs and spices, not the rotting animal carcass. Animals kill each other too, so it's okay. Most land animals are actually herbivores. Panda bears, koala bears, giraffes, hippos, rhinos, elephants, gorillas, horses, elk. Those animals are all herbivores. So, and you're supposed to be a civilized human being. So why would you want to base your behavior off of a wild, vicious animal who literally tears other animals apart while they're still alive? Yeah, there's a reason why normal humans never get the urge to kill an animal when they get hungry. There's a reason why normal humans never, see a dead animal on the side of the road and think, yummy, dinner time. Because you are not a true meat eater. You're not. You're nothing like a lion. So stop trying to base your eating habits off of a lion. You're nothing like a lion. And a lion would take you down in a second. So no, you're not at the fucking top of the food chain. Okay? You actually shop at a food chain, which literally has all kinds of vegan options, which are much, much healthier and much, much more environmentally sustainable. And no animal has to be ground up alive or stolen from their mother and stabbed in their throat. or mutilated and forced to live in a shit-filled shed. Wild animals literally intentionally killed over animal products. Yeah, this doesn't happen for my plant-based foods that I consume. A reason why I'm lonely. Maybe because I'm like literally living in a world filled with zombies, you know? The zombie apocalypse is fucking real. I can tell you that much. Everybody's like, all they can think of, flesh. I gotta eat flesh. And it's like nobody's even caring about like the main issues in the world. Like veganism can basically, address just about all of those issues. Like deforestation, species extinction, water depletion, water pollution, ocean dead zones, the plastics in the oceans, world hunger, pandemics, climate change, heart disease, cancer, like can address like almost every freaking major issue there is. And yeah, even war, even discrimination. Yeah, if you understand it is wrong to treat an animal unjustly, then yeah, why would you treat another human unjustly if you can comprehend it's wrong to treat animals unjustly? Maybe there wouldn't be wars if you could just understand we should actually respect life. For you phony pro-lifers, you do not fucking respect life if you're not vegan. You're literally destroying life at every fucking level. And there are a billion people starving right now because food they could be eating is being used to fatten up livestock. So people like you can eat animal flesh and animal secretions. So you're destroying life on you just want to save the human embryos. And like, let me not just get specific as to like what type of human embryo you really want to save. But you really don't care about people. Because if you did, you would be vegan. You would be vegan if you truly cared about life and you truly cared about people. Because right now there are a billion people starving because food they could be eating is being used to fatten livestock. Yeah, ceaseless tens of billions of animals are being raised for their flesh and secretions. So privileged people can eat meat and dairy products while a billion people are starving. Third world countries do sell their grains to the animal agriculture industry while their own people starve. So yeah, going vegan, that's pretty much, the best thing you can do. And it would solve every issue, just about. If everybody could truly respect life and stop destroying it over a fucking meal, over a fucking handbag, over a fucking pair of shoes. And this person, I guess you're just tuning in. What about all the animals killed to plow up land for your vegetables? While more land is being plowed to produce the crops needed to feed the animals that you eat. And animals like rabbits and mice, when they hear equipment, they sense danger, they're free to run out of the way. Nobody is forcing those animals to get caught up in the plows. They're not being forced to die. They can literally run out of the way, and they typically do. And any animals that actually might be caught up, that's an accidental death. These animals are intentionally killed. Wild animals intentionally killed for your food preferences. No animals are intentionally killed for my food preferences. I'm doing the best I can to minimize the harm I'm causing. Try to source my products that I purchase from veganic farmers, from farmers who use non-lethal methods of pest control. Are you doing that? Are you doing that much? Are you sourcing your products from veganic farmers and from farmers who use non-lethal methods of pest control, you phony pro-lifers. Really, are you? I don't think so. I'm now the one that actually is doing something. You're the one, committing the sin of sloth. There's a reason why sloth is a deadly sin. Your laziness is like destroying the planet. Because, there's a lot of people who are like, I understand. It is pretty fucked up what we're doing to these animals. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I agree with you. But no, I've just been, doing this my whole life. So I don't want to change because I'm too fucking lazy to just move my hand like a foot the other way when I go grocery shopping and pick up the plant-based milk. Because that's how easy it is to be vegan. Like, instead of reaching for the cow's milk, move your fucking hand a few inches the other way and pick up the rice milk, or the oat milk, or the flax milk, or the soy milk, or the coconut milk, or the cashew milk, or the almond milk, and leave the fucking cow's milk on the store shelf. Go down the aisle with the plant-based meat products. Put those in your shopping cart. The plant-based burgers actually taste better. Imagine that. A plant-based burger made with grains and or beans and or soy actually tastes better than ground up rotting animal carcasses. Imagine that. It tastes better. It's better for you. It's better for the planet. Obviously better for the animals. Oh, but that just makes too much sense. You just don't want to use your brain because you're lazy. That's the sin of sloth, which is a deadly sin, which is like a deadly sin because you're literally fucking destroying the planet. And if you're religious, your actions are literally destroying everything God created. Animal agriculture is destroying the forest, the rivers, the oceans, the animals, and even the people. Every day, thousands of people die prematurely of heart attacks, strokes, cancer. A lot of these diseases linked to the consumption of animal products. Animal products are very acidic, very inflammatory. They are loaded with artery clogging fats and cholesterol that clog up your arteries, impeding blood flow to your vital organs like your heart, which can lead to a heart attack, like your brain, which can lead to a stroke, like your penis, which can lead to erectile dysfunction. In case you don't know, erectile dysfunction is a significant indicator of heart disease. And a plant-based diet helps prevent heart disease. And if you have heart disease, a plant-based diet can actually help reverse it. I'm not high. I'm just fucking extremely sleep deprived. Like right now it's 1 o'clock. I have to get up in the morning, in case you don't know. I have to get up in the morning. But I only get like 5 hours of sleep every night. Yeah, so except maybe for the weekends. I might get a little bit more sleep on the weekends, but pretty much during the work week, I'm like majorly fucking sleep deprived. That's why. And I'm like literally staring at a phone screen and a computer screen and a TV screen all day long. So yeah, my eyes are like very dry and irritated. I'm not high. The last time I was high was like back in 1991. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling of being high. I've never been drunk. I don't drink. I hate alcohol. It tastes like poison because it is poison. And that's another thing that can cause cancer. Alcohol. Yeah, alcohol can cause cancer. So for all of you people who regularly, drink alcohol, you need to think twice about that too. And if you're Christian, if you're Christian, definitely. Because, Romans 14:21. It is good not to eat meat or to drink alcohol. And in line with that, from the American Institute for Cancer Research, eating meat and drinking alcohol significantly increases your risk of cancer. Yeah, just think of all the people being abused and sexually assaulted because somebody had to go and get drunk. Yeah, a lot of the abuse that takes place, a lot of the domestic violence that takes place, a lot of the sexual assaults that take place because of people on drugs and alcohol. I mean, that shit should be freaking illegal. How many people died today because somebody got drunk, got behind the wheel of a car? How many people died today because somebody got drunk and, flew off the handle and killed them? Or how many people got raped today because somebody got drunk and, a lot of these rapes wouldn't be happening. People literally lose their fucking minds. They drink and they lose control of what they're fucking doing. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. There's a lot of awful things happening when people get drunk. Rambling. Yeah, you can say I'm rambling. Because, yeah, it's kind of like when you're sleep deprived, I think they do say it's like you're kind of like drunk. So, yeah, maybe this is how I would act if I was drunk. I'd be rambling. Well, it's hard for me to go to bed when I know that every second, like, thousands of animals are being slaughtered. Like, every single second, thousands of animals, especially when you factor in the marine animals being killed. We're talking thousands and thousands of animals per second are being slaughtered. Here in the United States, every single day, 30 million animals are slaughtered across the United States. Every day, 30 million. If humans were being killed at the rate that animals are being killed, we would be extinct in a matter of days. We would go extinct in a matter of days. In fact, there are so many animals being slaughtered every year. Like in 1 year alone, more animals are slaughtered than the total amount of humans that ever existed. In just 1 year alone, more animals are slaughtered than the total number of humans that have ever existed throughout history. Slaughtered for nothing more than greed and gluttony. Not out of any nutritional need. We do not have to consume the flesh or secretions of animals to be healthy. In fact, the more animal flesh and animal secretions you consume, the more risk you have of cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, causing a pandemic. What good point are you making? Please, like, you're not making any good points. There is no justification for doing these awful things to these animals. Not one justification. Well, if your doctor told you you could not live without meat, I would find a new doctor. That's just insanity. That's just pure insanity. That, most doctors are crooked, in case you don't know. They're pill pushers for big pharma. I mean, it's hard to find an honest, good doctor. But they're out there. They're definitely out there. But most doctors, they're just pill pushers. They just want to write you a prescription because, that's a quick and easy buck. And then you have to come back to get your prescription refilled. And that's some more quick, easy money. And then big pharma is, making billions, billions, billions. And then you take the drugs and then, that causes other things, side effects. And then you have to be given more medication. And yeah, so your doctor isn't going to tell you to go vegan, most likely, because they want you to stay sick. They want you to have health problems. But if you watch Eating You Alive or What the Health or The Game Changers or The Last Heart Attack with Dr. Sanjay Gupta, any honest doctor is going to tell you a plant-based diet is the best diet. And the healthiest people who live the longest are the people that live in like the blue zones. And those zones are, people who consume diets very heavy in plant-based foods. Very heavy in fruits and vegetables, beans, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds. The more plant-based foods you eat, the less risk you have of heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, cancer. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from the American Institute for Cancer Research, the National Kidney Foundation, the American Heart Association. No, I think it's estimated that there were like 100 million humans. 100 mil, not a quadrillions. No. I think it's estimated that there's been about 100 billion humans throughout history. Right now there are 8 billion. 8 billion. And it was only in when was it? The early 1800s when the human population first reached 1 billion. That didn't happen until the early 1800s. And then like about 100 years later, in the early 1900s, the human population doubled to 2 billion. And now we're at 8 billion humans. So I think it's estimated that about 100 billion humans have existed throughout time. And we're literally slaughtering like 100 billion land animals and hundreds of billions, if not trillions, of marine animals each year. And before I sign off, because yeah, I gotta get to bed. Unfortunately, I wish I could just stay up all night. Not good. Eating animals is not good for your health, but sleep deprivation is not good for your health either. So, but this is the last video that I posted. Check it out. Moby checked it out and he liked it. Yeah, that's actual Moby. Yeah, liked my TikTok about the calves in the dairy industry. How they're taken off of their mothers and kept in these little hutches, penned in, and they're out there in all kinds of weather conditions. And blizzards and hurricanes and rainstorms, flood waters. Yeah, so check out that video, share it, duet it. If you think I'm lying about anything, like you're in disagreement with me using this platform to raise awareness about these issues, duet this or stitch this and tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you think I'm lying and spreading misinformation. Well, more plants have to be killed for you to eat livestock. Yeah, because livestock have to eat, in case you don't know. And more plants have to be produced to feed livestock than need to be produced for direct human consumption. So a lot more plants are being abused and killed for you to eat meat and dairy products. On top of the fact that animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, causing like about 1 acre of land to be cleared every single second. So think about what that means for plants. As an acre of land is cleared every second, and it is mainly to graze and grow food for livestock. So yeah, if you're truly concerned about plants, you need to go vegan. And then not only should you go vegan, you should become a fruitarian, because no plants are harmed for fruits, nuts, or seeds. Now, veganism is not about me. Veganism is not about me. So you can hate on me all you want. This isn't about me. This is about the animals. Like, how can you say that, oh, this bitch is so fucking annoying, I can't stand her because she's vegan, I don't want to be vegan. I want these animals to be abused. I want these little babies stolen from their mothers and killed because this bitch pisses me off. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You're literally saying you're not going to go vegan because of me. So you're going to continue to harm animals because of me? Like I said, veganism has nothing to do with me. So you can hate me all you want. You can hate that vegan teacher all you want, because veganism is not about me. Veganism is not about that vegan teacher. Veganism is about justice, doing the right thing by these animals. If you understand that it is wrong to abuse an animal, you need to go vegan, because if you're not vegan, you're literally paying people to abuse animals in some pretty horrific ways. Like literally, they're stabbed in their throat. If this calf is a boy, he will be stabbed in his throat within a few weeks and turned into veal. Even if this is a female, she will be forcibly impregnated. When she comes of age, they're going to force semen into her to get her to start lactating, to impregnate her, to get her to start lactating. They're going to force her to produce about 10 times more milk than is natural. So by the time she's just about 5 years of age, her body is going to be so broken from the physical abuse, the stress of being forced to produce so much more milk than is natural, the emotional distress of having baby after baby stolen within hours of giving birth. So by the time that this cow is like 5 years old, she's no longer going to be able to produce enough milk to make a dairy farmer a profit. So she will be sent to a slaughterhouse and stabbed in her throat. How is it not animal abuse to stab someone in their throat, to stab an animal in their throat? I mean, okay, if somebody went up to this little baby calf and started punching this little baby calf in the face, you would understand that that's animal abuse. I mean, clearly, if somebody went up to and started punching this little calf in their face or kicking this little calf, you'd be like, fuck, that monster needs to be arrested for animal abuse. Oh, but you're totally fine with someone taking a knife to their throat. That's okay. That's not animal abuse. To take a knife to this animal's throat, that's not animal abuse. But you understand, to kick this cow, to punch this cow, is animal abuse. But to stab the cow, no, it's not animal abuse. And then people call me crazy. Well, there should be no animals in captivity. That's the problem. There should be no animals in captivity. No. But yeah, I mean, come on. These animals should be turned over to an animal sanctuary, and then they should be they should be fed roadkill. That's what I think. Or, you know, the lab-grown meats. I personally would never eat the lab-grown meat, but if that's what it takes to get slaughterhouses shut down, and, you know, I would rather see that, and I'd rather see the animals, you know, the carnivores being fed the lab-grown meat. Or roadkill. I have not had the COVID vaccine. No, not going to get it. I'm not saying I'm against all vaccines. Not against all vaccines. But I think it's just getting out of hand. It's just getting out of hand. It's just like a money-making thing now. And yeah, I've come across people, like a coworker, her husband literally had a heart attack. Survived, but he did have a heart attack 3 days, which I've heard that a lot. People 3 days after getting the vaccine having a heart attack. Sorry, I do have mitral valve prolapse. I was born with mitral valve prolapse. So yeah, I'm not going to get the vaccine. Nope, not going to do it. But studies show from Harvard University that that a plant-based diet reduces your risk of getting COVID. And a plant-based diet, if you get COVID, helps treat it, helps keep it to where you most likely won't experience the awful symptoms that a lot of people end up getting when they get COVID. So even if I end up with COVID, I have less of a risk of getting those severe symptoms. So, and my one coworker, she was at, this was probably almost a year ago. She had to fill in for a cashier that was out, and she was at the desk for a few hours, and then she went to lunch, and then I had to come up and sit at that desk. And before she left, she was on the phone. And she left, and then I sat down in the same spot using the same keyboard, and the phone rings again. I picked the phone up, put it up to my face. Later on that day, she ended up getting sick, and then she went to the doctors and tested positive for COVID. She called me later on that evening crying, saying she just tested positive for COVID. And I'm like, oh my God, there is no way I'm not going to get COVID, because I am literally was just sitting at the same desk using the same phone, had that same phone up to my mouth that she had up to her mouth. There is no way I'm not going to not get sick. But I didn't. I didn't. She got very sick. She was out for like at least 2 weeks. She even had to go to the hospital because her oxygen level had gotten so low. And I never got sick. Never got sick. And like I said, researchers at Harvard did a study, and they said people on a plant-based diet have a lower risk of getting COVID if you're exposed to it. Doesn't significantly reduce your risk of, I think it's like only like you have like a 9% less risk of getting COVID if you're exposed to it if you're on a plant-based diet. But the thing is, if you do get COVID, you know, a plant-based diet helps boost your immune system, so you're better at fighting it off. So if you do get COVID, you're less likely to experience those really bad symptoms. Yeah, give me the finger all you want. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is these animals. I don't want to see these animals being abused. That's all I want, is for people to stop abusing animals. That's all. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here, is just to try to get people to stop abusing animals. And most people don't realize that animals are being abused. Like, I used to consume, thinking twice about how those products were being produced. But then once it started coming to my attention, then it was like, wait a second. Yeah, these animals are being abused. This is pretty bad. No wonder why there are people who don't eat meat. And then, you know, like 7 years after I stopped eating meat, then I learned about the egg industry and the dairy industry. And then it was like, now I know why people are vegan. Before, I didn't know why people were vegan. That's why back in 2008, I stopped eating beef and pork and chicken and turkey, but I continued to consume eggs and dairy products because I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening to these animals. I was like, you don't have to kill a chicken for eggs. You don't have to kill a cow for milk. But you do. They literally grind up the male chicks alive at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, because they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. The males are useless to the egg industry because they don't lay eggs, and they're not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. And then the dairy cows, they actually have to be pregnant before they start lactating. They produce milk because they're mothers, not because they're dairy cows. And I didn't know that until I was 42 years old. So I never thought consuming dairy products was wrong until I was 42 years old. And I learned that those dairy cows are forcibly impregnated, and that their babies are stolen from them, and that all the boys are killed. I'm like, no, that's not right. It's not right to steal little babies off of their mothers and kill them. And then it wasn't until way after going vegan that I learned that Dairy products aren't even healthy. They're literally carcinogenic. The casein in dairy is carcinogenic, increasing your risk of getting cancer, especially breast cancer. What about the mice in the field? The mice actually have ears and legs and a will to live, and when they sense danger, they're free to run out of the way. Nobody's forcing the mice to get caught up in harvesting equipment. So there's not nearly as many mice or other animals being killed in crop production as you think, because those animals literally have ears and legs and a will to live, and they can sense danger. And when they do sense danger, they flee. But those animals being raised for your meat, they are forced into those slaughterhouses. They're forced to die. Those mice in those fields are not forced to die. And I make sure I source my food from farmers who use non-lethal methods of pest control. You do not have to kill animals for crop production. You don't have to. There are non-lethal methods of pest control. There's sonic devices, there's laser devices, there's netting, there's fencing, there's pepper spray. There's all kinds of non-lethal deterrents. You don't have to kill animals for crop production. But whatever animals are being killed in crop production, 10 times more animals are being killed in crop production to feed livestock. Because those animals that you eat have to eat. What do you think they're eating? Yeah, most of the soy that is grown, most of the corn that is grown to feed livestock. And they're actually eating the GMO corn, the GMO soy. I make sure when I eat soy that it's GMO free. The genetically modified shit is what's killing the bees and the butterflies. So not only are you having all of these animals killed and the wild animals killed intentionally for your food preferences, the bees are being killed, the butterflies are being killed. Because the animals you're eating are literally fed GMO corn and GMO soy, which is sprayed with Roundup, which is killing off the bees and the butterflies. You're literally destroying the planet, causing the 6th mass extinction by not being vegan. Well, if you think I'm lying, just look it up. Right there in your hand, in that device that you hold all day in your hand, is all the information you need to know. That a plant-based diet is the best diet for your health. It's the best diet to help save the planet. Just look up that study by Joseph Poore. Joseph Poore is a researcher at Oxford University. He and other researchers at Oxford University did an extensive study of over 40,000 farms and concluded that animal agriculture is so environmentally destructive, going vegan is the best way to save the planet, and that if the world went vegan, land totaling the size of Africa could be freed up. I've been vegan for 7 years, and my only regret is that I did not do it a hell of a lot sooner. Well, look up Roundup. What is it? Glyphosate. I think I'm saying it right. Glyphosate or something like that. That is killing the bees and the butterflies. It is. In the Roundup, the glyphosate. It doesn't matter that Roundup is an herbicide. The glyphosate in it literally kills the bees and the butterflies. So I better sign off because it's 1:30 now. I got to get to bed. All right. So before I sign off, just here in the search box, do a search for vegan recipes. Just do that much. If you care anything at all about animals, if you understand abusing animals is not okay, At the very least, just in the search box right here on TikTok, just do a search for vegan recipes. And you'll come across endless vegan recipes right here on TikTok. When you see something that, oh, that looks good, just click on it, see who posted it, give that person a follow. And then you'll see how easy it is to be vegan. Like, there's literally endless vegan recipes that are so delicious, so easy to make. The vegan recipes are going to be better for you, better for the planet, better for the animals. Just about anything and everything can be veganized. If you like chicken, for instance, just put vegan in front of it. Vegan chicken recipes. All kinds of ways to veganize just about anything and everything. And if you go to happycow.net, put in your city, you'll find vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants in any city. Give some of those places a try. Give some of those vegan options on the menu a try, and you'll see vegan food is delicious. You're not going to miss out on anything, just on animal abuse. Imagine like plant-based foods are just as tasty, if not tastier, than foods made from rotting animal carcasses and the things that come out of a cow's infected udder and a bird's shit-encrusted ass vagina. And the grocery stores are filled with vegan options, all fruits, vegetables, beans, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds are vegan. Most pasta is vegan. Most cereal is vegan. There's all kinds of vegan burgers on the market, vegan chicken products, like even vegan nuggets on the market. And yeah, the vegan nuggets are actually better. They're better for you, better for the planet. They taste better. Imagine that the vegan ones made from plants actually taste better than the chicken nuggets made from a rotting chicken carcass. Yeah, like I said, I'll go to bed when I feel like it. But yeah, it is 1:30 now, so damn it. And I still got to take a shower. I still got to take out the garbage. But I don't want to go to bed. I just want to like clone myself and just have my clone just go live on TikTok 24/7. Yeah, tofu is made with soybeans, GMO-free soybeans. And soy is on that list of foods from the American Institute for Cancer Research that helps fight cancer. It's the GMO soy that you need to stay away from. All right, well, I'm going to sign off, I guess. And I'll be back tomorrow. Unless the world goes vegan. You know, if the world goes vegan, then I'll, you know, not have to come on here, because that's the only reason why I'm on here, to advocate for these animals. To bring it to your attention that animals are in fact being harmed. So this is very easily, very, very easily the amount of harm you can be causing in just one day alone by not being vegan. Very, very easily cause this amount of harm, if not a lot more harm, to animals in just one day alone. So think about that. And just at the very least, consider going vegan. Just consider it. Just start trying some vegan recipes out. Start purchasing some vegan products. Even just one product. We just do that much at the very least. The next time you go grocery shopping, buy at least one vegan product and try it out and see. If you like chicken nuggets, try the plant-based chicken nuggets. Obviously, I'm bothering you. For you to say, go away, Karen. Like, why are you even here? You don't have to be here. If you have no interest in going vegan, if I annoy you, you don't have to be here at all. But you've been here for quite a while because you've been making comment after comment after comment. So obviously I've gotten under your skin, because if I hadn't gotten under your skin, you would just easily be able to ignore me. But for some reason, you can't ignore me because I got under your skin. Because you know I'm right. Deep down under it all, you know I'm right. And what you're paying people to do to animals is wrong. Because if you don't think it's wrong, to consume animal products, then you should be the one to work in the slaughterhouse killing these animals yourself. If you think it's okay to kill animals. You should be the one, chasing down these wild American horses and rounding them up, knowing that, they're eventually going to be sold to kill buyers who ship them into Canada and ship them into Mexico to be slaughtered for horse meat. You should have to work at the hatcheries where all of the egg-laying hens come from, and you should be the one sorting those male chicks and putting them in the macerator and grinding them up alive if you think it's okay to consume eggs. You should be the one forcibly impregnating the dairy cows and stealing their babies and shipping all the male calves off, or better yet, actually working in the slaughterhouses, killing the male calves, if you think it's okay to consume dairy products. You should be the one working in the pig farm, cutting the tails of these pigs off, slamming them against the ground when they're sick or when they're not growing quick enough to be profitable for meat, if you think it's okay to eat bacon. Yeah, if you think this is okay, if you think eating animals is okay, you should be the one working in the slaughterhouses killing these animals yourself. You should be the one working on the factory farms, mutilating these animals, masturbating those male animals to collect their semen and forcing that semen into those unconsenting female animals to steal their babies and mutilate those babies, forcing them to live in a shit-filled dungeon and slamming them off the ground when they're sick or not growing quick enough to be profitable for meat. Because you might as well be the one doing these awful things to these animals. You're paying people to do these things to these animals. So you might as well just do them yourself. I mean, if you pay the hitman, you are the murderer. You're going to be guilty. If you're caught hiring a hitman to kill somebody, you are going to be charged with murder. So you might as well have killed the person yourself, because you're going to be charged just the same. If you're paying people to do awful things to animals, you're just as guilty of doing those awful things yourself. Shoving knives in the animals of these in the throats of these animals, like every few hours of every day for every single non-vegan product you consume. You're literally paying someone to stab an animal in their throat or to slash their throat, because they either have to be stabbed in their throat or they have to have their throat slashed to sever their jugular vein to bleed them out before they're butchered. Every few hours of every day for every single non-vegan product you're consuming, you're having an animal intentionally killed, even for dairy products, even for eggs, even wild animals being intentionally killed because they compete with livestock for grazing land, or like wolves and cougars and bears and bobcats are a threat to livestock, so they're being intentionally killed. So just go vegan and stop making excuses for animal abuse, because going vegan is the best thing you can do for the animals. It's the best thing you can do for the wild animals. It's the best thing you can do for your own health, significantly reducing your risk of cancer and heart disease and kidney disease and causing another pandemic. It's the best thing you can do to help save the planet, because animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, ocean plastics, fisheries depletion, pandemics, world hunger, and climate change. Okay, well, I have to sign off. I keep on saying this, but now it's like seriously going to be but once again, before I sign off, check out the last video that I posted about the calves in the dairy industry. This is the last video. Check it out when I sign off. See who liked it today. Moby checked out my TikTok and liked it. That is the Moby right there. Moby right there. Liking my video that I just posted today. So check it out, share it, duet it, stitch it, whatever. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm lying or spreading misinformation, stitch this video and explain to me what exactly it is that I'm lying about. And then correct me, okay? If I'm spreading misinformation, tell me what I'm saying that's wrong. Correct me. Give me a follow. I'll be back tomorrow doing some more live streams. Just here trying to convince people to stop hurting animals and to go vegan. It's the easiest thing you can do. Just search vegan recipes right here on TikTok. In the search box right now, I'm going to sign off. In the search box, just put 2 words, vegan recipes. And you'll see how easy it is to be vegan. And vegan food is so delicious, so much more healthy for you, and it's so much more environmentally sustainable. And no baby animals have to be stolen from their mothers and killed